30 days ago, I lost my job and decided to become a full-time manga creator. I just got laid off. I'm just trying to process it all.
Tell me, how can I make it when I always fake it?
So that video was taken like 45 minutes after I was told that I was being laid off from my job. I've never ever experienced anything like that before. The thing was, like, I was upset. Like, I did one really good shout in the car to get my emotions going, and then I decided, let me just grind and start finding a new job. And after like several weeks of being unable to find a new job, my wife just told me, she said, hey, maybe you should try doing this art thing full time. And keep in mind, I'm someone who like does not like taking risks at all. But with the success of my series, Super Plumber Sisters, My Sexy Witch Academia, and The Girl with the Mega Fist, which is currently being kickstarted right now, I figured, let's just give this a go. Let's see how long I can make this last. Right now, my full-time job is being a manga and comic book artist. And there's like a bunch of pros and cons with that. Cons is that I'm stressed every single day, and like the success of everything is now like on me. I don't get like a steady paycheck. But the pros are that I get to make awesome stories, draw every single day, and put out a lot more content, which honestly, like, I love. And so one thing that I have felt in the last like couple weeks that's important is I need to get like acquainted with my local scene. You know, there's a lot of comic book artists here in Utah, both indie and pro, and a lot of them just, I don't know, they've never invited me to do stuff. Like I think some of them know I exist, but they never invite me to do fun stuff. They never like tell me when all the events are. So I'm very much out of the loop. But I was told that if I go to a place called the Nerd Store, that there'd be a guy there named Roger, and he's like the guy who knows like the local scene, and he'd be able to guide me in my journey to be more prevalent in this local scene. Today, I figured I should go to the Nerd Store and talk to them. Real quick story. I promise this like has a point to it. So when I was in high school, I super needed a job. Like my parents said, if you don't get a job, we're basically going to kick you out. You're screwed. And so I applied to over like 200 places. I had a hard time securing an interview. I don't know why. I finally get an interview at Build-A-Bear Workshop. You know, that place in the mall where you go build a bear? They get like, it's a group interview. They have 10 of us sitting in a circle, and they said, what are you willing to do to get sales? And so I told them I'm willing to do anything because I freaking need a job. And they said, but what are you willing to do to get people in the door? Would you be willing to go out in the mall and start singing to get people in there? And I went, yeah, I absolutely would. And they said, prove it, go. So I went out into the mall and I made up some song. I was like, come to Build-A-Bear, it's our holiday sale and you should come in here and get a bear. And I completely embarrassed myself, but to me, I was like, I've got this. I've secured the bag. I did whatever it took to get this job. And they didn't even hire me. So fuck Build-A-Bear. Fuck Build-A-Bear. But my point in telling you this story is that now that I'm a full-time artist, my mindset is going back to, you know, when I was trying to get that job at Build-A-Bear, and it's really my mindset that's gotten me to this point. One of my favorite lines in Marvel's Endgame is when all of the remaining characters who didn't get snapped by Thanos, they all said, whatever it takes. Like they were gonna do whatever it takes to beat Thanos and save the world and get people back. And I remember listening to that trailer and just having that montage of everyone going, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. And it's been so inspirational because for me, that's what it means to be a full-time artist right now. I need to do whatever it takes. And what's crazy is like right now I am working longer hours than I was at a day job. Like my day job was typically, you know, you go in at 8 o'clock, you leave at 5. Now I'm like coming in at 9 a.m. and sometimes I don't go to bed till like midnight, and I've just been I've only had like maybe 2 or 3 hour breaks during the day. Like I am working way harder than I was at a day job. Why? Because I need to make this work. So I went to the nerd store. The guy that I needed to talk to wasn't there, but they told me to come a different day at like 3 p.m. So I'll probably go tomorrow and talk with them. But what it made me realize while I was going there is I realized looking at the shelf, looking at the stories, looking at the comics that were like being promoted at the time, there wasn't a lot of things that caught my eye. Like, not a lot of the stories looked interesting. They didn't look new. They didn't look like something that I hadn't already read before. And to me, I think that's just another sign for me that I really need to do whatever it takes. Like, I need to, when I create a story, it's gotta be good. It's gotta be interesting. It's gotta be unique. It's gotta be fun. It's gotta be exciting. And that truly is something that I believe that I am doing currently. You know, right now I'm kickstarting my series, The Girl with the Megafist, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, link in the description. And what's great about that series is that I have a lot of readers who will message me and they'll give me their theories and they'll post their panels and they'll go, oh, I think this is gonna happen. And it makes me truly believe that I'm telling fun and exciting stories for people. And so when I got done with the nerd store, I came down here, came back to the basement, came back to the studio, and I just said, I need to finish one of my comics because I told my readers that they would get it in October. What if I can get it to them in September? So my friend Tommy, he's the artist for the book My Sexy Witch Academia. He finally got me all the art for the series. I spent the last 2 days gray toning the entire book, and now today I'm gonna spend the rest of the night just lettering this book. This is one of the funnest parts of the comic book making process because what you can do is as you're lettering the book, you can see all the mistakes you made. You can add more dialogue. You can add more context. You can maybe go, oh, I should change this right here and here, because now you see your book in its like fullness. You can go, oh, I think this sounds better. I think this works better. You can really play off of the artist's emotions. You know, maybe the artist, you know, when they were conveying the character, maybe they conveyed the character a little more excited. So now you can bold the lettering and make the lettering even more excited. There's just so many awesome things that you can do in this stage that it's one of my favorite parts of the comic book making process. With all the stories that I try to do, I try to make them all a little bit different than the others. My Sexy Witch Academia, you know, we're dealing with a character who there's something secret about her. We don't know what it is, but we know that she has this unlocked potential. And how does she navigate herself in a world where no one trusts her? She doesn't trust anyone, and yet she is almost like the savior, to these people. But my point is, when I'm making stories, it's like, how do you make this fun? How do we make this exciting? But also, how do we make, you know, these comics, these manga, all brand associated, so that when you read that book you go, oh, that's a book created by Tyler, that's a book created by Draw and Talk Comics. And I think that's something that's very important to me, is to keep this brand of, you know, we're always going to make comics that when you're done reading it, you had a silly goose time. But this was my day, just lettering here in the basement, went to the nerd store, and did not get to see the person I needed to. But today really just reinforced my belief that if I want to succeed, I need to do whatever it takes. There's that saying that goes, if you want a life that not many people have, you have to do something that not many people will do. And I don't think that a lot of creators are willing to do what it takes to do all that is necessary. And so that's something that was really like, I reminded myself today, all because I walked past that stupid Build-A-Bear. Alright guys, we are going to end this video here. Remember to go check out my Kickstarter, link in the description. Like always, we're going to end this video the best way possible.